Okay, well, welcome. This is use of social media in professional development. My name is Tara Graves, and I am presenting this on behalf of e-learning for educators for the course developer class. So here's our objectives for today: understanding the importance of community in the online courses, define and identify social media and social bookmarking, understand the importance of a personal learning network, and identify ways to use social media, social bookmarking, and PLNs in online courses. So first we need to understand the importance of community in online courses. The Concord Consortium research says this about community building. Learning through collaboration requires participants to take intellectual risks. It is the responsibility of course designers and instructors to proactively design and nurture a community culture in which participants are supportive and honest. The facilitator establishes and shapes intellectual and emotional norms, modeling appropriate behavior and steering harmful input toward higher learning ground for all. There are many ways to foster this sense of intellectual trust and safety. Providing class time for participants to become acquainted is an essential first step. This is achieved by leading fun, ice-breaking activities in the beginning and sustaining a social life for the group with a cafe or student lounge discussion thread where non-course topics are welcome throughout the course. Written expectations about good group processes are also helpful. For example, instructors encourage participants to use inclusive and collective language that focuses on content in discussion posts. So you could say, Tim says instead of Tim, you said. So just the difference there of your wording makes everyone feel they're included. Anonymous polls, role-playing, use of smaller discussion groups with rotating roles, or weekly online meetings are all effective techniques for building and maintaining group cohesion. And through some of my other research done on best practices for online learning, this is what we discovered. Strong community increases motivation and engagement. It's good to have some kind of collaborative group work. When groups successfully complete a project together, they feel more part of a community. Having opportunities for peer feedback and support. Sustaining a personal learning network, so ways to continue the collaboration outside of the course and beyond course time. So using some of the other social media tools outside of the learning management system. And there are stages of a community in online learning courses. First, it's making friends. Then it's community acceptance. And then it is camaraderie. So it just depends on how strong your learning community becomes and how quickly they pass from one stage to the next. Something else that's interesting, if you've been teaching online for a while, you'll notice that some participants tend to reveal a lot of personal information very soon in the course. Sloan C. and Ine call this swift trust. There's something about somewhat being anonymous in an online forum, very different from face-to-face. I don't know that I've ever gone to a face-to-face workshop where people within the first hour start sharing personal information, but it does happen online, so it's interesting. Icebreakers are good. They don't necessarily have to be related to the content. It just something that is pretty laid back, easygoing, and people can relate to it. So anything that people can share a little bit of personal information, like maybe what their favorite hobby is or their pets, somewhere they'd like to go on a vacation. Those are all good ways to build community. And then the ongoing informal forum should be provided to keep the off-topic conversations out of your content learning forums. So having something like a cafe or a student lounge is a good idea. In some of the learning management systems, you can move discussion forum posts to other forums. So if someone does post something that has nothing to do with the content, it's a good idea to move that to the lounge or the cafe forum, and then just let them know that that's where that belongs. So what is social media? It's all around us pretty much. Wikipedia says that social media refers to the means of interactions among people in which they create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. You've seen a lot of these little icons here. We've got the little bird for Twitter, the thumbs up is Facebook, the little green bubble is mostly like any kind of chat. We have YouTube where people share videos and comment. Basically, social media is any kind of online or mobile device based, app based application where people share with each other and comment, and they can follow each other and stay in contact. This is an interesting graphic here. This is a honeycomb model of the building blocks of social media. So you have your different understandings of what the elements are of social media. So presence, so which the extent to which users know if others are available. So if you're ever on Google and you have Google Chat, you can see when other people are online, people that you are connected to. Same with Facebook, you can tell who's online. Sharing, so the extent to which users exchange, distribute, and receive. So sharing files or images or videos or links. Identity. Another that's kind of closely related to presence, but being able to see who you're connected to and who you might want to be connected to. Relationship, the extent to which users relate to each other. So how much are people interacting? Reputation. So this is a tricky one, especially for teachers, is having to be aware of what you're posting online. Also, in some of the more professional social networks, you include all of your schooling information, and people endorse you, like on LinkedIn. They endorse you for certain talents or abilities. Then we have group, the extent to which users are ordered or form communities. So what are the ways in which people group themselves? And then the conversation, the extent to which users communicate with each other. And I can send you the link if you're interested in reading more about this research. And actually, it was done mostly for the business community, because businesses are very much using all kinds of social media to advertise. So this is kind of a funny little graphic in honor of Mother's Day. That was a few weeks ago. So it kind of delineates the differences of each of these networks. So if you just take a look at that. So if you're not familiar with some of these, Facebook is mostly updating your social status of where you are, what you're doing, sharing images and videos. Twitter is a microblogging where you have 140 characters. And again, it's a status, but you can also share many other things as well. Foursquare is about location, and it's plotting where you are in relation to where other people are. And then Instagram is a photo sharing social network. I know a lot of kids, teenagers are using this quite a bit. LinkedIn is more of a professional network. Pinterest is very cool if you like to gather images and links. This is a great one that I'll show you in a few minutes. Pandora is a music, not really a network, but you can connect with other people, but mostly it's for streaming music. And then Google Plus is a way to share things that you're searching on, and also you can do some video conferencing as well. So many of these, their purposes are for sharing not just your status, but where you are. Status meaning what are you doing right now, or what are you thinking about? Where you are. Images, so personal pictures, or funny graphics that you want to share with other people, music that you like, and your professional skills. Okay, so to identify some of these, and I'll have you type in the chat if you're on this call live. If not, you can just write it down. So which of these social media do you use regularly? So we have YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So if you go ahead and put that in the chat. So which ones do you use regularly? Okay, so we have two participants live today. Tina uses YouTube and Facebook, and also so does Misha. Okay, which of these have you never heard about? Any? Or have you heard of them already? Okay, so use all four. Don't use Twitter and LinkedIn. Okay. So, Misha, can you tell me about when you use Twitter? When do you use it? I'll unmute you. Okay.
I tend to use Twitter when I'm at a conference and I know that there's conference activity around it, or when I see an update in my email or a notification about something that was posted that I'm interested in. I don't check it as frequently as I do other social media sites, and I don't tend to post to it as often as I do other social media sites.
Okay, thanks. Tina, do you have a comment about YouTube and Facebook? How you use them?
Well, I use Facebook primarily strictly for my social network, and to stay in contact with my friends and family. And YouTube, I actually use for professionally, and upload videos or locate videos to use in my classroom.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting graphic, and this is from 2011. So just go through and skim those and see if any of those look familiar to you, if you've ever used any of them or seen something on them. There really is too many. There are too many to count, but this graphic has separated by purpose. So if you're going to publish, or if it's a game, there are many game sites that are social, meaning people can connect with each other, follow each other, communicate with each other. Okay, so what does this tell us about ourselves as people? Is that it's really important for us that we are part of a community, whether it's face-to-face or virtual. And technology allows us to do this. We can basically have friends across the world, and we're not limited anymore to just those people that we can connect with here in our own schools or city. We've also realized that it's important to collaborate and share, especially as teachers. We need to be able to maximize the time that we have for planning and preparation, and having pretty much the world at our fingertips allows us to find resources and tools that will make our jobs easier and will improve instruction and engagement in our classrooms. And connecting with each other through social networks is definitely something you should be doing if you aren't doing that already. And in your online courses that you are creating, you need to consider ways in which teachers can not just get information, but interact with that information with the other participants in the course. So, social bookmarking, what is it? I'm going to have you watch this 3-minute video by Common Craft, and it's social bookmarking in plain English.
It's just too much. Did you know that there are over 15 billion web pages? To make sense of it all, we need ways to pluck out the best pages and save them for later. We have choices. We could bookmark or add to favorites in our web browser. Nah, it quickly becomes messy. Plus, these bookmarks are tied to only one computer. This is the old way. There's a new way that doesn't use a browser. It uses a website. This is called a social bookmarking site, and the one we'll use today is called Delicious. It makes bookmarking more useful and fun. We'll focus on 3 things: how to get started with bookmarking, how bookmarks are organized by tags, and why this kind of bookmarking is social. First, go to delicious.com to sign up for a free account. While you're signing up, you'll see an easy way to add a couple of buttons to your browser. These are important. The tag button is how you'll add new bookmarks to the website. On any website, you can click tag to save that site as a Delicious bookmark. Easy. Consider this example. You're a teacher who often uses the web to find math lessons for 8th graders. You're overwhelmed by all the sites. There are just too many to remember. Using Delicious, remembering sites is as easy as tagging them. Here's one. Oh, nice. Perfect. Here's what happens when you tag a site. A new window opens and asks for more information. You can add keywords or tags that describe the site. These will help you find bookmarks later. You might tag this site algebra, best of, tutorial, math, and homework. Then click save to save it on the Delicious website. When you save a page like this, 2 things happen. First, the site is saved with all your other bookmarks on delicious.com. Second, the tags are saved in a list of all your tags. You just repeat this process for every site you want to save. This is bookmarking. Let's fast forward 2 months to make our second point, why tags are so important. Let's say you now have 100 bookmarked sites. Chaos, right? Well, since you added tags, you have a way to sort the bookmarks by the tags you assigned. To find all the sites about algebra, you click the algebra tag and voila, 100 becomes 3. All your bookmarks are now more findable thanks to tags. But that's only part of the fun. Now, let's look at the social part of bookmarking to make our third point. Think about your fellow teachers. Couldn't they benefit from seeing your bookmarks? Well, they can. Delicious bookmarks are public. This means that your friends and peers can see your bookmarks and use your tags just like you. That's why this is called social bookmarking. Your bookmarks can benefit other people. Think about it this way. You start bookmarking algebra sites and your peers can see the interesting sites you find. Then they start bookmarking too. Within a few weeks, A group of teachers are all bookmarking their favorite math websites, and because they're all public, everyone discovers new and relevant materials. Together, you create a network that produces a steady stream of interesting and useful websites, all organized by tags on the Delicious website. The lesson is that social bookmarking sites take a world of chaos and make it orderly. Remember, there are 3 steps to get started. First, go to delicious.com to sign up and add the buttons to your browser. Second, start bookmarking sites with tags. And third, be social. Notice how useful and fun other people's bookmarks can be. I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Social Bookmarking in Plain English on the Common Craft Show.
Okay. Oops. Okay, so any comments on the social bookmarking video? Any of you use Delicious? Tina or Misha? Go ahead and type it in. That's fine. Okay, so while we're waiting for Misha and Tina to add their comments, we're going to look at some other social bookmarking sites. We have 4 that are shown here. Scoop It is the green box. Then we have Diigo, Instagram, and then Pinterest is the big P. Misha says she started using Delicious, but now I use Diigo. And then Tina uses Diigo and Life Binders, but she has also used Delicious. So yeah, there's several out there. I'm gonna show you the ones that I use and just show you a little bit about them today. The benefits of using social bookmarking is that we can curate the web. So like you are a museum curator, you're collecting things. And we can find things that are useful to us, to our colleagues, or to our students. Instead of having a great website that you want to share and maybe right now you just email it to your colleagues or your friends, this is much more efficient and easier than trying to find all those great websites hidden in all those hundreds of emails that you have. Also, many of these allow you to annotate, so you can write interesting information or why you bookmarked it. And again, using the tags or creating lists or making categories. I'll show you in each of these how they're a little bit different, but with the same concept. Okay, so the first one is Diigo. And that's the site right there. And the one below it in white is my Diigo list, or library, I should say. So first I'm going to go to the Diigo site. I'm just going to go to the generic home. Oh, now it's not letting me do it because I'm logged in. Hold on, let me sign out. Okay, so before you have an account set up, this is what you'll see. And what it does is it allows you to, I'm going to enlarge this.
Diigo is a cloud-based personal information management system. Diigo provides you with tools on all major web browsers, Android, iPad, and iPhone to help you to collect and access a variety of information. All the items you collect from anywhere go into My Library on the Diigo server. That is in the cloud, so you can access from anywhere. First of all, Diigo offers great tools while reading online. Diigo allows you to add digital highlights and interactive sticky notes, as seen in this demo. With Diigo Browser add-on installed, select any text to highlight. You can even choose different highlighter colors. Because all the information you collect is stored in the cloud, all these highlights will stay on the page when you revisit, even from any computer or device like an iPad. Here is the same highlighted page accessed from your iPad. Now you can continue on iPad where you left off on your PC and continue adding annotations. Through Diigo Web Highlighter for iPad, you can highlight on your Safari just like on iBooks. For those who consume a lot of online information, Diigo's highlights and sticky notes are indeed great for active e-reading and better retention. When you bookmark a page to Diigo, you can organize by tags, which makes things easy to find. Mark to read later. Choose to upload and archive an entire web page forever through Snapshot, so you will never have to worry about things you found no longer being there. The page is saved as HTML as well as an image. Besides saving useful web pages, the new Capture feature allows you to capture, annotate a screenshot with shapes, arrow, and text. This is very useful when you want to save a screenshot for yourself or share visual notes with others easily. Of course, all this data is stored in the cloud in My Library. When you are on the go, you can access your Diigo library through any mobile platform that Diigo supports. With Diigo PowerNote for Android, you can browse through your library or pages marked Read Later while standing in line. Jot down your ideas. Take pictures of things you like to keep or research later. With Diigo PowerNote for Android, you literally have a photographic memory. Similarly, you can access your bookmarks through Diigo Offline Reader for iPhone. Download pages to read offline when there is no internet access. More new Diigo iPhone apps will be coming soon, so stay tuned. Diigo Evolution. Diigo has evolved over the past few years from a simple online bookmarking tool to incorporating web annotation, to enabling knowledge sharing and group-based collaborative research, and finally moving closer to our ultimate vision to provide our users with the best cloud-based information management tool for collecting, organizing, and accessing any information anywhere. To learn more about Diigo, please check out our other video tutorials.
Okay, so that was just a short little thing about Diigo. And I was going to show you this one. So here's my Diigo library, and I made all these lists so I can sort. So lists are a little different from the tags. So if you know you're going to have, let's say you have different units that you teach throughout the year, you could make a list for each of those units, and then as you are bookmarking sites, you can assign them to that list. So if you're interested in using Diigo, I encourage you to check that out. And all of these sites have really nice help sections, tours, how to, and so on. So you pretty much can teach yourself how to use it. So what are some ways do you think you could use this in an online professional development course? Go ahead and unmute everyone. Okay. Go ahead.
This is Misha. When I was in the classroom as a math teacher and we built common assessments and did common planning together, it was nice to have a common shared Diigo group where when we found resources, we added them to one group, and then we were accessing the same information and having the same common language.
And in my group, I'm a firm believer as a teacher not to reinvent the wheel. And the more information you have, the more resources you can have, and the bigger your professional learning network, I feel the better teacher you are. So this is a great place and a great way to pool all of your resources into one and to tag them and sort them and to connect with other people and help you be a better teacher in the classroom.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, the next one is Pinterest. And I have to warn you that Pinterest is a highly addictive one. And we'll just take a look at, whoa, my magic mouse is going crazy. Okay. All right, so Pinterest is really cool. It's based on creating boards, so like little bulletin boards, and you can create as many as you'd like and name them whatever you like. And then you can, when you go through and find things, you pin it to your board. So I'm going to go to my infographics one that I've collected many of them. So these are all things that I have pinned. And I can look at who pinned it, and I can go to their boards and see if there are other boards that I'd like to follow, or if just certain pins I would like to see. Also, I can look in the list over here and sort the entire pinning world by category. So a lot of times when I'm on here, I'll go to the everything, and trust me, it's everything. A lot of people use this for wedding planning, party planning, baby showers, organizing their home, different arts and crafts. A lot of scrapbookers are on here, but a lot of teachers are on here as well. So if you go to education, there's just tons and tons of stuff. So a lot of great ideas, classroom management. Okay, so you get the idea. It's all set up visually. You create, there's a little bookmarklet just like in Diigo. So you just get that once you've created an account, and that way when you're online and you see something that you want to pin, you can just click the pin it button and assign it to the board you want to use. So very much time can be spent on Pinterest for sure, especially for teachers. Okay. And I need to close this. Okay. So that's Pinterest. So some of the ideas that you can use either Diigo or Pinterest for in an online course is these could be projects. So for a group project, you can give them a topic, and as a group, they can curate either a Diigo or a Pinterest together and find all the resources. Plus, they can annotate those resources. So it's not just, finding things and bookmarking them. It's they'd have to write a little something about each of the sites that they visit. So in an online course, this would be great to use as a collaborative project. And also it would help keep people connected after the class ends. So the groups that are formed, any of the collaborative resources that they create together, they can sustain long past the course. Scoop It is a new one. I am very new to me. I started using it about 2 months ago. And Scoop It is similar to Pinterest in a way that you can see images, but it does give you a little extra information here. So here's the link. and it shows you who scooped it or re-scooped it. So I think it's the idea of scoop like a newspaper, you know, you're the first one to find something. You can create topics. So I'm part of this NMC K-12 ambassadors topic. So the teachers that are involved in this project, we can put everything in one place. But I also like how this looks where the comments are right below it. This looks similar to Pinterest as well, because in Pinterest, the comments are below it as well. So it's just an easy way. So then if I see something I like on somebody else's, I can scoop it or re-scoop it, they say, if you're not the first person to do that, into my scoop, I don't know, bucket. I'm not sure what they call it, but anyway, so I'm fairly new to this one, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but definitely I can see a lot of uses for this. Tina or Misha, do you have any comments on Scoop It? You can type it into the text chat if you want. Also, what I like about all of these, so Misha hasn't started it yet, and you don't have to belong to every single one. That's something that I think we get overwhelmed with, is thinking, well, I've got to belong to that one, and really just explore them and find out which ones work best for you. The great thing about these is you can set up notifications that come to your email. So if you're on your email already, then you'll see any updates that come through. Tina, you want to mention anything about the possibilities that you're thinking of? Okay.
One thing that looks neat about Scoop It is it's actually, let me refer to Pinterest, because Pinterest is really limited with the graphics, and there's not a lot you can add to it, or with text and stuff. Where Scoop It kind of seems to expand on that, and to involve more things than just a graphic without an explanation.
Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, so let's look at our next slide. Okay, so 5 reasons why you should join or create your PLN. So you might have heard professional learning network, personal learning network, professional learning community, so PLCs, and then PLEs, professional learning environment or personal learning environment, either one. I like personal personally. You, with technology now and with all this social media, it is possible for us to create our own personal learning environment. Now, the environment could be a blog, a website, it could be an app on your phone. Really, it's just wherever it is that you are learning. So the environment is mostly the platforms that you use to be connected and learn. Your network then becomes the people that you connect with. So 5 reasons. And this comes from the blog. The link is down below there if you want to read more in depth, but I'll just read you a little bit for each of these bullet points. So connect with other educators anytime. So most teachers lament that they do not have enough time in the school day to share best practices with their peers. Administrative and department meetings tend to focus on the nuts and bolts, schedules, truancy rates, standardized exam scores, etc. Teachers are creative people who thrive when able to collaborate and share their ideas. With a PLN, teachers can stay in touch with other educators anytime, regardless of location. What's great is that when you start following people whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube. All of these things have a subscription function. The stuff that you're interested in learning about, or the people that you respect, or the people that you want to learn from, all that information will come to you based on that subscription. So when you're going through your email and something pops up, and I've found that a lot of times, I'll go through and sometimes it doesn't, pertain to anything I need to read about, but there's been a few times where something's popped up in my email that is so appropriate to what I'm doing or trying to research that it's just incredible, and it's a good way to stay on top of the most recent research and information and things that people are doing around the world. So that's one thing I really enjoy about that. The second one is to keep learning. Most teachers want to cultivate a lifelong love of learning in their students. We know that to continue growing, we must continue learning. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we have to carve out a time and space to continue this education and prioritize our own learning. So again, it's a good way to just stay up or stay current on best practices and innovative strategies and things that engage our students. And also ways you can connect with other teachers for possible collaborations in the future. Number 3 is to embrace the change. Don't fight it. As we know, the teaching profession is rapidly changing, and for many educators, this is scary, despite the benefits that technology offers to teachers and students. Building a network of relationships with other educators who are using technology successfully is the first step towards learning how you can also be successful integrating technology into your own classes. So there are other people out there, those of you that are designing online courses, you can connect with people who have been doing it for years and learn from them. Number 4 is to expand the scope of your class. Teachers around the globe are doing exciting things in their classrooms. They are connecting with other teachers, classes, and students around the world to create opportunities for students to see how interconnected our world is becoming. So just knowing what is out there and getting in touch with them is very powerful to our own learning, especially when we're online. Sometimes we have people from, like with the E4E classes, we have people from all over Nevada taking these courses. They are not just people in Washoe County or in Elko, which is really cool because we are making connections across our state. And the last one is to get inspired. Nothing is more exciting than an interesting or fresh idea. Exposure to more ideas, activities, lessons, projects, learning platforms, teaching models, etc., will provide you with the wealth of ideas needed to keep this profession exciting. We get so exhausted from creating things, and when we connect with other people who are teaching what we're teaching, it makes it really easy to just say, hey, I'm teaching, this biology lesson, and I've used the same lesson for, 10 years, but I'd like to do, something a little different. What's out there? And you'd be amazed at how many ideas you could get directly pushed to you from people in your network. So I encourage you to do that. So here's another interesting graphic that I just love. So just take a look at that. And this is how to grow your personal learning network with social media. So you might recognize some of those little icons there. So there's 2 T's there. There's a one on the top in the dark blue, and that is, I believe, Tumblr. And then the other one on the right side is Twitter. And I believe Yahoo just bought Tumblr this week. Any comments on this slide?
It's a good slide.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as I was preparing for this webinar, I was looking up using social media for professional development, using social media in online courses. And then I came across this blog where this teacher uses social media for his personal learning just on his own. So, you know, many teachers are constantly seeking out time and resources to learn new things. Yeah, Misha, it's missing Edmodo. Yes, Edmodo is another great tool to use, not just for connecting with other teachers, but using with your classroom so your kids can connect. So this is from Nick Peachy, and the link is down below if you'd like to check it out. It's pretty interesting. So he says there are 3 ways that he uses various social media for his own personal learning. And so the information in, where he finds information processing, how he processes it, engages with it, and then information out, how he shares what he's learned. So a very important component of using social media in any professional type of situation or a learning type of situation is that you are contributing, that you're not just a consumer, but that you are also a contributor. So he uses many of the tools I've mentioned. He uses Diigo and Pinterest, also Delicious, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Scoop It. And he spends about 5 to 10 minutes a day exploring. And he recommends that you only share things with other people that you have actually learned from. So don't just randomly share everything that you find. For one reason, people are going to think of you as just someone who keeps forwarding things to them. And you might hit, you know, one great idea out of every 10. So I really like that. I'd never really heard that before, but really be aware of what you're sharing and pinning and putting on Diigo, things like that, that you're not just randomly just gathering all kinds of information, but that they're actually meaningful to you or your students, things that you've actually learned something from. And obviously say what you've learned from them or used from those, if you did, in the annotation. So this is an interesting infographic, and thinking about your online participants, they do like social media. And one of the ways to not only sustain the learning that takes place in your course, but to keep them engaged in the content in your course as it's running, is to use social media or to use anything on the learning management system that acts like social media. So if you have a chat feature or a video conferencing feature, if students can use a blog on the learning management system, that would be good. So look at the things that they're already comfortable using or that they like to use. You can keep things within the LMS like Moodle or Blackboard, but it doesn't hurt anything to take them outside of it as well for projects or for continuing discussion. So those of you creating courses for any K-12 students, consider these things as well that you see on this graphic. So Twitter is one that, you know, people might understand it as something like, oh, well, I'm stopping at Starbucks, I'm having a latte, or I'm feeling tired today. But educators are really using Twitter in very interesting ways. I want to show you this very cool matrix that was created to show you how you can use Twitter. And let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay. So thinking specifically about an online course or even a blended course where you have part of it's in person and part of it's online, there's some very interesting ideas here. So dialogic, I've never heard these terms before, dialogic and monologic. And it's increasing in intensity towards this way. And then we have the passive student activity to the active going across the bottom. Yeah, Tina's in the text chat says that about Google Hangout. I've used Google Hangout a few times, and I really do like it. I'm not sure. I think it may be blocked in our district, but you can check that out and see. It really does make collaborating seamless, because you can have your documents, like you can have the Google document or presentation up and everybody can talk, and everyone can edit. So that makes it really nice.
And you can see body language and facial gestures.
Right. What? All right, so hashtags for educators. Like I said, Twitter is one of the most used social media for educators, and not just K-12, but we've got higher ed, and we've got some leaders in ed tech using it. So here's a printable list of the best education hashtags. And the important thing about Twitter and using the hashtags is, again, it's like a way to sort or tag what you're tweeting. Okay, so this is a very interesting infographic here that they've created. So if you have something that you want to add to any of these topics, make sure you use the exact spelling of the hashtags that are here, and yours will get sorted with everyone else's. It's a nice, to get started, it'd be nice just to kind of lurk and read what people are posting. And then again, that other crucial element is to contribute. So keep that in mind as you are learning to use this for personal learning or in your courses. Okay. Okay, it just crashed here.
You didn't lose your recording.
Get you back up? No. All right. Please stand by. See if I can. It has just disappeared. All right, here we go. Okay, so here's a complete guide from Teach Thought. So a complete guide for Twitter and for the hashtags. So that's an interesting reading. So it tells you what is a hashtag. You might know that as the number symbol or the pound key. And it's just a way to aggregate or to sort the tweets. Picture it like a magnet that attracts all messages categorized by that topical word or phrase. Okay, so just some do's and don'ts. And then here's some popular ones. So Tina or Misha, are there any times where you have used a hashtag on Twitter? You want me to unmute you?
Are we talking?
You can.
I don't use Twitter.
Okay. Misha? Okay, Misha, you're unmuted.
I've used a hashtag a couple times. For instance, hashtag education, or when we were teaching one of our Camp 21 classes on Twitter, we made a hashtag for that so that participants of the workshop could have an ongoing discussion on Twitter using that hashtag focused on Camp 21 and Twitter.
Okay, thank you. And a lot of times if you go to a conference, they will have a hashtag, and some of the like the main conference will have one, but then also a lot of the sessions will have them as well. So they're just really useful for that. So ideas for using Twitter with your online course. You can tweet out any reminders, any extra resources that are not included in the course. Again, setting up a community for people that will sustain after your class ends. Okay, so I thought what I would do is to show you some of the things we can find according to what you might want to curate on Pinterest, Twitter, or Diigo. So if you have an idea of something for me to search, go ahead and type it in the text chat. And I'll get set up with Pinterest first. So yeah, any topic of interest. I'm going to open Pinterest, Diigo, and Twitter.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay then. All right. So here we are on Pinterest, and Misha says Common Core state standards. Okay, so go ahead and search that. All right, so it's got doesn't have very many on here for now. It's got novel learning series student guide. I'm gonna take out some of those words in the search and just look up Common Core. Oh, and then we have a lot. Okay, so let's say I want to do, let's narrow it down a little bit. Common Core math. Okay, so these are all resources that people have pinned for Common Core math that have that in either the description or the tag that they've used. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. Okay, and if I click on it again, it will take me to the website that contains the information. Now, some of the pins are just images, but most of them, when you click on the image, it takes you to the website. Okay, this one's an advertisement for a book, so that's not helping us very much. Let's look at, and it looks like many of these are. Let's see if I can go to, okay. Oh, this one's also, this is a free digital download from Teachers Paid Teachers. So if you are a 3rd or 4th grade teacher, you could download this. So Again, those are just some of the things that you can find. If you want to pin it yourself, then you click pin it, and then you select which board you'd like to go to. All right, Tina. Let me finish Common Core. So I'm gonna go into my Diigo list, and I'm gonna search for Common Core Math. And I don't have any of that within my library. So I'm going to go and see if I can find some in, oh, and it's not cooperating with me. Okay, here we go. I was clicking on the wrong thing. So in the community library, these are all the things that people have Diigo'd. So I can just click directly on the list item, and it'll take me to the resource. It shows you how many people have Diigo'd it. So free high quality resources for educators. Here, steal these tools. So again, it's just a way to share the resources. So now I'm going to go into Twitter, look up Common Core Math. Okay, and these are all people that have tweeted about Common Core Math, and you see the hashtags here. So this one found it with the hashtag of Common Core. And you can have more than one hashtag in a tweet. It just depends on where you want it to be, or how you want it to be sorted. Okay. All right. So then let's see. Tina wants me to look up Chris Hadfield. Okay. So looking up a person. Okay. So we can see what he's doing. That's on Twitter. That's from Twitter, I should say. Let's see what other ones we have on him. So he's the astronaut that did the first music video from space. So we can, this is his Twitter. So if we wanted to, we could follow him, and we could find, we can see what he tweets. And these are how many followers he has. And let me see if Diigo has anything on Chris Hadfield. Okay, so several of them actually. And William Shatner actually responded to him, which hopefully that's the true William Shatner. All right, and then let's see if there's anything on Pinterest for him. Actually, there are. So tons and tons. So you can see people have pinned videos, images, little cartoons. Okay. All right. Okay, so more ideas. So bringing social media into your LMS or your learning management system, you want to add meaning to the content. You don't want to just put things in there just to say you did it or to make it seem like it's more exciting than it really is. A lot of in the research from Georgia Southern University, they're saying that when the students are engaged, they're more likely to return to your course, so meaning your online course. If you just put up on your course, an hour-long lecture and then they have to take a quiz, that is not very exciting for the online learner, nor is it best practice. So thinking about the tools that I've shared with you, and I'm sure you can find a lot more as you explore, consider using social media not only to keep in touch with your students, to connect them with each other, to have them use it for projects in a collaborative way. Have them, let's say you created a Pinterest board with interesting resources, and it could be an assignment where they go and look at those resources and then put a comment under each pin. There's all kinds of ways to use them to increase their learning and their engagement. And again, because those tools live outside of the LMS, chances are the learning can sustain itself after the course ends. And that's really what we want in professional development. We don't want things to be the proverbial binder that goes up on the shelf and is never touched again until the teacher retires or changes classrooms. We want this to be something that is living and breathing and ever changing, so that our clients, which are the teachers and inevitably then the students that they teach, that they learn how to use it effectively as well, and that they stay connected. These can also be used as alternative assessments. Best practice for online learning is, and any kind of learning actually, is to give people a choice. You can use one of 5 of these choices or something else to show me what you've learned, providing them with options. So some of the things that are mentioned in that article from Georgia Southern University then is they use Google Docs, Twitter, blogging, YouTube, and VoiceThread. Some of those I did not go into much detail at all with today, so I encourage you to extend your learning and seek those out. I think it will just enhance what you're doing in your online course for sure. So why should you use it? You can interact with the content. You can make connections with other professionals. We know that learning is not separate from living. So use platforms that your participants are already comfortable with. Maybe you need to do a survey at the beginning and say, okay, which of these platforms do you use? And give them a choice, and then pick the one that most of the people are using already. You don't want to force people to use something that either you're not comfortable with or that they've never heard of. So find out what they're already using. And again, we want to connect with each other. We want to collaborate. We don't want to sit in isolation and not get any new ideas. And what's great about social media is we can get new ideas, and we can get it right now, and probably more than what we would ever want. This allows definitely for differentiation in not only assignments but assessments as well. People are very self-directed in this way, using the inquiry method where they've got something, a task to complete or a problem to solve, and they can just run with it and find the information they need. And I can't say this enough, but making the professional learning sustainable. You want it to continue. You don't want people to take your class and then not apply what they've learned. So using social media definitely keeps people connected, and it supports them in their practice as they learn to use new tools. So I would like you to follow me or us. Some of these are group sites that I've created, but they are collaborative as well. So if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, those are the 3 usernames that I use, and then Diigo and Pinterest. And on Scoop It, I believe you can just search for me. You don't have your own site like Diigo and Pinterest allow you to create. So you can find me on Scoop It. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, just by searching my name. And I appreciate your time today, and I hope that this was useful for you. Do you have any questions? Thank you, Misha. Cool, great. All right, guys, thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day.